Hello, Cara.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here. I'm so excited. I'm like way too much excited to have you.
Me too.
So how are you? Second time in Paris?
Yes, second time. Yeah. I'm great. I love it here. It's magical.
Perfect.
Yeah.
It is. It's a very beautiful city.
It is beautiful.
New York is amazing as well.
New York is amazing. And I find that New Yorkers and Parisians are so similar.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. Everyone's like, oh, everyone in Paris is going to be rude. I said, no, everyone in Paris has been wonderful because they feel like a synergy, right, between New York and Paris. So I've just had the best time. Everyone's been incredible.
Perfect. Can you please, Cara, introduce yourself like in few words so people understand who you are and what you do in life?
Yes. So my name is Cara. I'm a writer and I coach, I've written many books, and I work a lot with female entrepreneurs and I coach them around lifestyle, business, mindset. And I really just advocate for like women to support each other, especially when it comes to building businesses and kind of making their way in the world.
I love that. And I think we have like a similar mission because I do also help women to be the boss of their lives. And that's what you do. That's your mission.
Yes, exactly. And like life and business are so intertwined. They're so similar.
Of course.
So I love that phrase, the boss of your life. That's exactly what it is.
Exactly. And what is very interesting in your journey is that before to be the girl boss that you are today, you were an employee, right? Because you were working at MTV.
Yes.
And then you decided to quit your job because you were like bored and tired. Can you explain this part of your life?
Yeah. So I was in a really good job, it paid well, but I didn't feel happy. I wasn't creative. I was kind of just like going through the motions. And I started my blog on the side, The Champagne Diet.
Yes, of course.
And I started writing and I really loved it. It was like such a great outlet for me. So from there, I decided to start coaching because women would write to me and say, I read your blog and I'm so inspired, and I would want to help them. I wanted to really not just let them read what I was doing, but like teach them how I was changing my life. And I thought if I could make changes in my life, I can help somebody else.
Of course.
So I started life coaching, and
you were like coaching women, and also you still have your job.
Yeah, I was side hustling. Okay. Yeah, we call it in the US side hustle. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I was at night on the weekends whenever I could. I would take days off. So like people will take a week vacation. I would take that week vacation and stay home and work and build my business.
Of course.
Yeah. So I did that. I was at MTV for 8 years and I was building my business for 6 of those 8 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And then after 6 years, you decided to quit your job.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I wanted to know that I could be successful. Like I didn't want to just quit and not be prepared. So I started realizing I could earn money and, at least like come close to matching my income from MTV. So I left in 2014. So it'll be 10 years this August.
And were you like one of the, I don't know if you can say that in English, pioneer? Can you say that?
Pioneer, yeah, like a trailblazer kind of.
One of the first like girl boss to like helping women to be the boss of their life, coaching women. Were you one of the first?
Yeah, I was definitely early on, I think, in that, especially when it became popular, when everybody was, on Instagram and, starting to like learn about entrepreneurship through social media, because I think a lot of people didn't know.
Of course.
Like, oh, I can actually do my own thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I was definitely in the early stages of that. Yeah.
Were you scared to quit your job? I mean, financially speaking?
Mm-hmm. Very scared. I thought, what if I can't pay my rent?
Exactly.
What if I can't pay my bills? That's why I made sure that I was building the business first, like on the side, because I could see the money coming in. So I had some hope that I could make it work, but it was definitely a risk because I was making money. I was the breadwinner. I was married at the time. Okay. So I was making most of the money in the house. My health insurance was through my job. So it was a big risk to do it.
And it's a bigger risk in the US because when you quit your job in the US, you don't have anything. Nope. In France, you can have some financial aid. Yeah. But in the USA, you don't have anything. You quit.
You're done. Yep.
Yeah,
exactly.
You're done. Absolutely.
Go get your health insurance, pay for it. My health insurance costs in the US like what people's rents cost. So expensive. So I had all of that to consider. Absolutely. It was scary for sure.
And how did you do it? Why? I mean, did you feel something in your stomach like, it's time to do it?
Yeah. So I was going to do it first in 2013. And I used to practice walking the stairs, like from my office to my boss's office. Okay. He was downstairs. And I used to go like every day and like imagine myself quitting. And then I would get scared and I would go back to my desk and then I would go. And in 2014, my brother said to me, why don't you come with me to Tokyo? Because he was going to Tokyo with his wife now at the time. And I said, no, I can't afford it. You know, I don't have time. And he said, no, I think you should come because I was so stuck. And I went to Tokyo. I have chills saying this to you. And it changed my whole life. Like I saw this whole other like universe. And that's why I tell people, like, if you're thinking of making a big decision, like go on a trip if you can afford it, if you can make it work. Because going there just changed everything. And I came home and I said, what am I doing? Like I'm wasting my life like in this desk, in this job that I hate. And I came back and that day I went down the stairs to my boss's office and I finally said it.
Oh God.
And then I like couldn't take it back. So yeah.
And what did you feel that day?
Oh, relief. So happy. I felt so proud of myself. And I think that's the biggest thing with business. I'm sure you know this too. Like it's the pride you feel in the things you accomplish. Like I did that, you know, like
you feel bold.
That. Yeah. Yep.
That's yeah. I see exactly what you mean.
Yeah. It's the best feeling. So if you can turn the fear into the excitement of what, you know, what could be, that changes everything.
And you have a big dream. You wanted to write a book. Why?
I knew from the time I was a little girl that I wanted to be a writer. Like I just always had this feeling, like, I don't know if from like the universe or God or whatever you believe, you know, gave me this like passion. And I just couldn't like imagine anything else. Like I love words, you know, I love to write. Like that's how my art, you know, like that's how I express myself. So I just knew I was going to make it happen. And I thought fiction maybe at first. But then as I started like really learning about law of attraction and mindset, I was like, no, I have to write nonfiction. Like I need to write about my stories and how my stories like merge with my mindset.
Of course. And the first book you wrote was Girl Code. Is it the first?
That's the fourth. I wrote a few before. Yeah. Wow, but that's the big one. That's the one that went crazy. Yeah.
So what happened between the first and the fourth?
A lot of life experience, you know, it was, I started small. I published my first book before Instagram was a thing, you know, so I started to build a name for myself and I was blogging and I had the books and then Girl Code just touched on something, I think, like you said, like being a pioneer. It was at the beginning of, you know, the whole movement of women empowering each other. And that just, it took off. Like it just took off. And I just was obsessed. Like I couldn't stop talking about it. I was sharing about it. And I was living it. So like, I think when you live your message, people feel that, you know, it feels authentic.
Of course. You felt the difference maybe between the first, the second, the third, and the fourth one was like I don't know. I know what you mean.
It was aligned, like in alignment, you know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And can you explain all the things you do today? Because you're entrepreneur. So you're a writer. You also have, of course, your blog, your podcast. Can you explain all the, I don't know how you say in English, all the
like the business hats. Model, the hats. Yeah,
exactly.
Totally. So I have a blog. I have my books that I write. I'm working on a new one now. I still coach women. So I have a membership called the Girl on Fire Collective, which is for female entrepreneurs. Every Monday we do a call so people come on and ask me questions.
So good.
And it's nice because I like to connect women. Like I love building community. That's like my favorite thing to do is create spaces where women can come together and meet each other and support each other, buy each other's products, hire each other. That's very important to me. So that's what my group does. And then I do courses. So like, I have a course called Podcast Queen where I help women start podcasts. I do like masterminds. So I just love like teaching and like, again, like holding space for people to really do what they want to do in life and encouraging them, mentoring them along the way.
Perfect. And how many women did you coach?
Oh, that's a good question. That's a good question. Definitely
an average,
like in the thousands for sure over time. Yeah. Yeah. A lot.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And so now you wrote it's the number 9, the book you just wrote?
Girl on Fire is 9, and then 10 is the new one that I'm working on now.
Oh God. You're already working on a new one.
It's almost done. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Can you give us some tips? Because it's one of my projects to write a book for next year.
Yeah.
So can you give us some good tips for women entrepreneur who would like to write a book? Maybe not self-published because I know it's not so easy.
Yeah.
But can you give us some tips?
Yeah. So I think the biggest thing is mindset. People are scared. They feel like, oh, I don't want to be like imposter syndrome, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. Like, who am I to be an author? But it's really the same as just writing a blog, right? If you can write emails, if you can write a blog, if you can write captions on Instagram, you can write a book. So get over the fear and realize that it's possible and it's doable. And I think once you just start writing, you get better. And hire a coach if you can, or an editor, like have somebody help you. Because I think that we need a little bit of like motivation. Like I love to work with writers and keep them accountable. Like, did you write today? You know, did you do what you said you were going to do? And also like read a lot of books. That always helps me. You know, the more I read, the more inspired I get and the more creative I feel. So yeah.
Okay, good. And so the two big books you wrote are Girl Code and Girls on Fire.
Yes.
There is a sentence I want to read because I wrote it. This is the first sentence, of the book Girl on Fire. Who would you be if you stopped waiting for permission? I love this sentence.
Thank you.
Can you say more about this?
Yeah, I think that we all live lives that we feel, you know, almost like when we grow up, like your parents tell you, teachers tell you, like, you can do anything, right? When you're little. But then when you get older, the world's like, no, you have to pick one thing. You have to, this is the way to do it. You have to get married by this time. You have to buy a house. You have to have a baby. All the things that we're taught to be, especially as women, right? So many expectations. But I think that most of us really want to live differently, but we never even explore what that looks like. So I love to ask myself and my clients and my readers, like, if nobody was going to judge you, if no one was going to be angry at you, if no one was going to tell you you were wrong, what would you really do?
What would you do?
And I think that answer, if you can really answer that question for yourself, you can change your whole life.
Absolutely. I believe absolutely the same. And do you talk about this in the book? This is
Yes. Yeah? Yes. Oh yeah. That's the whole kind of ethos of Girl on Fire. The whole thing is about just creating a life and a business on your terms, you know, and being unapologetic. But to get there, to do it and be bold, you have to build the confidence first. So it really takes you along the journey of like really getting clear on who you are and what you want. And then, okay, now that I know what I want, what do I have to do to get there?
Absolutely. Can you tell us a bit more about what really helped you to become the girl boss you are today? So we're talking about the fact of being bold. We know this is one of the key, but did you have some coach? Did you have a mentor? What really helped you to create the life of your dreams?
You know, I really didn't have like a mentor, but I looked to other women that were powerful, even if I didn't know who they were, like if in person in real life, but I would look at other powerful women and like study them. You know, I would watch interviews.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like read them and I'm like, oh, I want to be like her. Yeah. And I would just like train myself and just say like, if she could do that, I could do that. I need to channel like whatever she's got. I need to like channel it for myself. So that always, and still, right? Because every level of success, you want more and more and more, right?
True.
And in a good way, not a greedy way, but like in a way of like, just want to keep challenging yourself. So I have to make that a daily practice. Like, okay, who do I want to be today? Who is going to inspire me? What am I going to look at to feel motivated? You know, and just, it's like rituals almost, you know.
And who are the female inspiration you have?
I have a lot. So I love music. Like I love music. And you know the band Garbage? She sang,
a bell, but
she sang like, I'm only happy when it rains. Like, it's like very 90s. I don't know. But this band, Shirley Manson is the lead singer of the band Garbage. And I love her. She's feminist. She's unapologetic. But she's so kind and incredible. I've met her a few times now because I reached out to her and literally just said, do you want to interview in my book? And I put her in Girl Code.
Oh, so nice.
Yeah. She's a girl's girl, you know, like that type of woman. And I just find her to be just iconic, you know, in the way that she lives, in the way that she lifts people up, but is still such a badass and so fierce. So yeah, she's definitely one of my people.
Amazing. And do you have like big projects for the future except books?
Yeah. So I would love, so I'm writing a new book. It's a dating memoir and it's funny. It's like all the crazy, funny dating stories. I would love to adapt that into a TV show. That's like a big dream. So we'll see. I'm putting it out into the universe. But yeah, that, and I think I want to write fiction. I think I want to take a stab at like writing fiction, which is,
this is completely different.
Totally different. Yeah. So we'll see one day.
Okay. Yeah. And did you have a mentor?
I didn't have like a person, like one person forever mentoring me, but I definitely had coaches through the years.
Okay.
Star Monroe is fabulous. She's a coach. She's a mentor to me. I actually worked with her not recently, but like past 5 years.
Okay.
Because I got divorced in 2020, and she is this fabulous woman who like encourages women just to be independent and love themselves and build confidence and also apply that to business. So she's definitely been somebody who's mentored me and guided me on that path in the more recent years. But in the beginning, no, I really didn't have anybody. No, I just read, studied, and did all the things. But yeah.
And keep your main objective in mind and just follow the plan. Did you have a plan, actually? Did you have a plan? Like,
I mean, I didn't have like a plan where I stuck to it, but I knew that I wanted to be a published author. Like that was the goal. And everything else that came after it was really just me being open. You know, like I never knew I wanted to start a podcast. I wanted a radio show because back we used to have like a live radio. And a friend of mine said, just start a podcast. I said, okay, I'll try. I had never listened to a podcast before. And I just started it. And then it took off from there. So like a lot of my life is saying yes and then figuring it out later. You know, like, yes, course. I want this. And then I'm going to, do it. But I think for me, more than a plan, I have intention.
Okay.
So it's like the intention is to be well known, to, like put out a positive message and leave a legacy in the world. And then all the ways to get there I figure it out as I go.
Of course. And it's crazy because you wrote few books. And so 2 of them are bestsellers, maybe more.
A couple of them. Yeah. I mean, they've been bestsellers definitely on and off throughout the years.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
And the podcast, I think you made like over 10 million downloads.
Yeah. We're up to almost 11.5 million downloads. Like
it's crazy,
wild.
Right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
How did you have this success? What do you know?
A lot of people ask me that. I'm going to be honest. I think it's just being myself. It's being me. It's like being authentic. Yeah. And I think that is what I'll tell everybody listening. If you're looking for a way to like reach success, trust yourself. Like I do things different. I do them my way. Like I'm like, this is who I am. I don't try to be like anybody else. I just try to be me. And even if that like looks a little different or sounds a little different, I do what feels good, especially with the podcast. So I don't do a lot of interviews. Like I do some, but a lot of it is just me talking. It's just like a 20-minute episode, like a power chat, like a little boost for somebody to listen to. And I think that's why maybe it became successful because it's like a little mini coaching session.
Of course, for free.
Yeah, exactly, for free.
Okay, very interesting. I think this is kind of the best advice you can give to a young entrepreneur. I think it's really important to stay ourselves. And I try to stay myself every day. This is how you attract people to you. I think.
Energy is everything, right?
Absolutely.
And when you put out good energy, people feel it and they want to be around you. They want to pay you. They want to hire you. They want to do all the things. So like get your energy right first and then everything else follows.
Absolutely. Did you see a big switch in your life before and your life now? Did you have a big switch? And do you realize that your life is completely different as it was before?
Yeah, I think there's been a lot of those moments, right? Quitting my job, my full-time job, and moving into my business full-time was a major transformation.
Of course.
Because I had freedom all of a sudden, right? I could go anywhere, do anything. And then divorce was a big one.
Of course.
Yeah, because I was married for 10 years.
Okay.
So then going and being single again and being single as a successful entrepreneur and trying to date like that, it's very different worlds.
Is it hard?
Yeah.
No way.
Oh yeah, it's
Why?
hard. It's hard because I think men don't really know their place sometimes now in the world because women have decided not to have kids or they make more money sometimes than the man. And I think men, and my guy friends have told me this, and even men I've dated have said like, we don't feel important. Like, what's our role now? Like you can give yourself everything. You don't want babies. And even if you do, but like you can pay for everything. Like, so where do we fit in? I think that's been a challenge, like recognizing, that men still want to feel masculine and they still want to feel like they're in their power.
Of course.
And women still want to feel feminine. I don't want to be the man just because I make money. Like I still want to be me. So, and this obviously is for like, straight relationships, heterosexual, but like that's what I've noticed for sure. It's definitely a different world and there needs to be a lot of communication between partners.
Of course.
You have to say, okay, this is like, makes me uncomfortable. Maybe I'm a little intimidated and, you have to be willing to deal with like ego sometimes and know that it's like not personal, but you also, I know that I need like a strong man. Whoever I'm with has to be very strong.
Of course. Of course you do.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think they're scared. They want to be the boss of the family. They want to build a family and to lead. I think they want to keep the role of leader.
Yes.
And the thing is, women are evolving. We want to be, I mean, we don't want to be the man, but almost. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We want to be the rich man.
Yes.
But not to be a man.
Yes.
We still want to be a woman and to be feminine,
Yes.
So it's very difficult.
Yeah, we're all trying to find the new normal. We're trying to find our place, with all of this change. And it's happening very fast, I think, for women. Like it's really been, I mean, obviously it's been a long time coming, but like the past 10 years even have been, because of social media, I think have given women platforms that we would not have had otherwise. So our voices now are out there and we can choose ourselves, just like I talk about in Girl on Fire, like start your own podcast. You don't have to wait for somebody to ask you, write your own book. And it's new. So I think we're all just learning and doing our best.
Absolutely. And for French entrepreneurs, American entrepreneurs are really an inspiration for us because we always say in the USA, you have like 10-year advance. I don't know if it's really English what I say.
Yeah, like a 10-year plan.
Yeah, I mean you are in advance compared to the French.
Okay,
always.
Yeah,
and you are an inspiration because we see a lot of female entrepreneur, Girlboss. This is all this vibe of woman empowerment, and you are the leaders for us.
Yeah,
actually, and we are trying to follow this movement in France.
I love that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's cool.
So it's amazing for me and for all the entrepreneurs who interview people to interview some American people, American women like you, because you have a specific mindset, and it's very, 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 a very big inspiration for us.
Thank you. Yeah, it's important, I think, right, to realize like you're like leading like globally, like I think about like my books are in 10 languages now, and that makes me so proud because I want all women everywhere to feel like that. One thing about America is that we are really taught to just go for it. Right? Like we have a lot of, like, it's just, that's our culture, right? It's like,
exactly.
And it can be good and bad, right? There's negative and positive, but I will say that it's like, no one really stops you in the US. It's like, just go.
I know.
Do it, So if I could take that and inspire women everywhere, that makes me so happy.
Obviously. But this is exactly the US mindset. And we would love that in France, because in France, we are more like scared of doing things.
Yeah.
We are not so bold.
Yeah.
I think.
Well, you are leading the charge in that. So that's good.
I'm trying.
You are.
Trying.
Yeah.
But this is very, very inspiring. I can't speak English anymore.
I need to learn French.
Actually, do you say some sentences?
I can say bonjour, merci beaucoup, champagne.
Good. That's the beginning.
That's my vocabulary. I need to learn though. I do. I think it's a beautiful language, so I definitely want to learn.
But
more.
It's hard. It's hard.
Very hard. Yeah,
it is. So I have 3 last questions for you. This is like I don't know, how
like rapid fire.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know this expression, but maybe. So 3 questions. Do you have like, I don't know if you say that in English. I'm so sorry. A mantra? Do you say mantra?
Mantra, yes.
Yeah, a mantra?
I was actually just talking about this earlier. I think I have a few, but one that I love and I've been saying recently is everything always works out for me.
Good.
Like everything always works out.
Okay. I think you already answered this question at the beginning, but what was your dream when you were a kid?
To be an author.
Exactly. Yeah. Easy one. And the last one, what does it represent for you to be the locomotive of your life?
For me, it just means that I get to decide the way that I want to live. I get to create my own rules. I get to decide how I want to feel every day, how I want to show up every day. And I get to like really just make my life as big as I want it to be. Like nothing can stop me.
I love that. That's perfect. Thank you so much, Cara. It was great.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.